Hey everyone, it's Coaster Jammin here. Just hopping on here for a little while. Um, talk about roller coasters, talk about some upcoming trips, talk about Cedar Point, talk about Top Thrill, talk about all that fun stuff. Let's see if I can find a better spot to put the camera here. I can see the roller coaster stuff instead of my other stuff here. So, yeah, there we go. Anyway, welcome. Um, I'm Ben, Coaster Jammin. As pretty much everybody knows me, I'm a YouTuber, Instagrammer, content creator, roller coaster fan, um, all that stuff. A little bit of history about me is started out working in the roller coaster industry back in 2000. I worked at Cedar Point, worked on Blue Streak pretty much full time all summer, and then filled in at Millennium Force. Went back in 2001 and was Millennium Force crew. So yeah, I worked there for 2 years. Left there, moved up to Michigan, and then moved down to Florida and worked at Universal Studios at Islands of Adventure on Dueling Dragons. Back when it actually was Dueling Dragons, and then I also worked at SeaWorld, and I worked on Kraken there. And then after that, I joined the military. I was active duty Army for 10 years. A couple deployments underneath of me as well. Um, Infantry guy stationed at Fort Campbell in Kentucky. So yeah, um, waiting for some more people to join in, see if anybody joins. I usually don't go live on YouTube as much as I do, like say TikTok stuff like that. But I wanted to get kind of off the ground with posting on here. Um, but yeah, travel everywhere. I'm a photographer, um, more of a photographer than a videographer. You always see him in the park with my camera attached to my arm, or a GoPro or my Osmo, one of the two or three or four cameras I carry. Or you'll see me with the big camera with the big lens. It's anywhere between that long and this long. Um, but yeah, so YouTube is trickier for me. I'm trying to get. I have a lot of subscribers, but I'm not getting a lot of views on videos. So I'm trying to diversify my portfolio just a little bit more and go with putting. I did a lot of short stuff, and then now I'm doing longer videos. I have another one that just came out at 7, longer video on Skyrush, and I'm kind of incorporating the park's on ride video with my off ride shots, kind of giving a little bit of description um, as far as how that transforms out. So yeah, the it's fun doing that. I started out with the photography side of things. I started out just doing photography in the parks just to take pictures. So I had them, and then people saw me shooting pictures, and they're wanting me to share them. So my Instagram is what I started first, and that was basically just pictures the whole time. Then I started doing different editing on photographs. So I have like the one that's right there is mine. That's mine up there, and then the ones on the wall and stuff around me are mine. Um, but yeah, I started doing editing, putting different backgrounds on shots, kind of doctoring up the pictures a little bit to kind of let that kind of be seen, kind of deal. Um, so that's gone really well, and then I was like, you know what, I really want to kind of get into doing the video side of things. So I picked up a GoPro uh, 12, I believe. Yeah, I have a Hero 12, and from the Hero 12, I use that that's really good for doing on ride stuff. I usually like Busch Gardens, you can wear it wrist mounted. So I do shots where I put the camera backwards on my arm, on my chest, like pretty much any way that I can shoot in different directions and stuff like that. Um, and then as far as Uh, I just picked up a Pocket Osmo, so I'm doing a lot of stuff with that now. It's just easier to carry around. Um, the camera quality on that thing is actually really good, and I'm actually using it right now as my webcam. So, yeah, you can see like I can move stuff around on here because I've got my digital cam or my camera here. Um, so yeah, so yeah, kind of looked at that a little bit. I'm actually really surprised that no one's joined. Um, YouTube is a little bit of a challenge to me. The analytics don't seem to match up when I'm doing things, so it'll be like I'll have a short that'll be 2 to 8,000 views on it, and it just doesn't. When I look at my earn category, so if any of you guys get on here and are like, "Hey, I do YouTube and I figured out how to monetize it," um, and what maybe I'm doing wrong, that would be nice to know. YouTube is extremely tricky for me. Uh, I just feel like I put a lot of content out there, and then I guess there's so much other competition with how much is being loaded onto the platform that I don't really see too much. Like, um, I don't see too much growth. TikTok, Instagram, I'm constantly seeing growth. I'm seeing up and down. YouTube just seems to kind of like it'll show me like, oh hey, you've had 10,000 views in the last 48 hours, and then I check the earn category, and it's back down to where it's like nothing again. So if anybody has any suggestions or anybody that they know to talk to, as far as maybe I even looked at maybe even hiring like a third party type person to kind of market my video a little bit better and see if I can get a little bit more involved on YouTube as a channel instead of just Instagram. Instagram is fine. Facebook is fine. TikTok is fine. I'm just not a big fan of. I put a ton of stuff up on here. If you follow my channel, you can see it. So it's kind of like one of those conundrums where I'm like, okay, and then I see like why there are certain content creators that had Instagram and had YouTube channels, and they just like pretty much shut down shop and went right to TikTok, and now they have 80,000 followers on TikTok where they couldn't break 2 or 3 grand on YouTube or Instagram. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing that I'm always kind of trying to deal with, but um I'm kind of excited because this week I'm doing so I went to Cedar Point opening weekend, which was the third, fourth, and fifth. So we were there Saturday. We were there Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The only good weather day we had was Monday. And Saturday just rained all day. We kind of gave up halfway through the day, left the park, left, went to the store, got new clothes, got new shoes, got new socks, got dry. Went back to the park at about 3:45, and we ended up getting one ride on Top Thrill 2, which was kind of the whole goal of the whole trip. If you're in here, leave me a chat so I can see who's in here. I always like to see who's in my live streams. But the Saturday Saturday was kind of it was windy. Top Thrill 2 never got open. We got Steel Vengeance, Maverick. Trying to think what else we did on Saturday. But Vengeance or I think we got Magnum, uh, and then Gatekeeper Raptor maybe. But it was just super windy. Um, the whole goal at that point in time was just to get my buddy Charlie his credits. He's sitting on 49 credits right now. After this weekend, he'll be over. I think he's going to be over 60 because we're doing King's Dominion on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday we'll be at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. So yeah, that's kind of fun. I'm a little the one thing that kind of so Monday, in the park was the best day we had, and we ended up getting 6 rides on Top Thrill, which I'm still in this debate on whether or not. Oh, hey, Thrill. I'm still in this debate on whether or not Steel Vengeance is my number one, uh, or Top Thrill is my number one. I'm kind of this debating thing. I love both of them. I think Steel Vengeance all around is the complete ride experience, the longer ride experience, the more airtime experience, the more roller coaster experience. Where, um, so I'll get back to the TikTok comment in a second. So the Top Thrill is short, sweet, to the point. I think what I really like about Top Thrill is I'm a speed guy, so the faster it goes, the better. So that's kind of where I'm kind of there. Like I love King Ka and Top Thrill too. Um, King Ka would have never been, my number one, or Top Thrill would have never been my number one, just because of the shortness of the ride. It's kind of a one trick pony, kind of like the dive coaster thing. It's kind of like, okay, you launch, you go over, and it is done. Top Thrill just kind of amplifies that with that backwards and forwards, and the the restraint system, the restraint system on them trains, and the rideability of those trains is just, it's so good. Um, Being able to be free, like on your upper half, and not having the over the shoulder harnesses like kind of clamp you down. Like that thing goes up the hill, and when it turns and goes over, you're out of the seat until you hit the bottom of the 270 spiral on the way down. So, I mean, it's sustained airtime that's probably 6 to 12 seconds. I mean, it's pretty intense. And the backwards, in the back row is definitely where it's at. On there, I know the front row for the visuals and the wind in your face, but the back row, when you're coming up that spike, I mean, you just watch the rest of the park just vanish underneath you. It's pretty it's pretty intense. Um, so Thrill Productions, are you still here? I see someone's in here. I just want to make sure that I'm talking to you and not to somebody else. Hey, so yeah, so the whole thing with TikTok, like this is what my issue is with TikTok. When are they going to shut it down? All these people have transitioned their platform from Instagram and YouTube to getting followers on TikTok, and then they have a huge following on TikTok. What are they going to do when they shut that down? Are they gonna run with their tail between their legs, like back to Instagram and back to YouTube? Because the people that are subscribed to them on TikTok aren't necessarily following them on other platforms. So, like my numbers on YouTube, and on Instagram are really high. However, my TikTok followers don't join. I love how that thing focuses like that. That's so cool. Um, my TikTok followers don't necessarily watch my YouTube, and my YouTube followers don't necessarily watch my TikTok. So it's kind of one of those ones where you kind of go, what are you going to do? I mean, for prime example, I know somebody at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, that had all these other platforms set up, and his following was going nowhere. And then he immediately turned to TikTok, and now he's got 80,000 followers. I don't know if he's paying for them, or what he's doing, but he honestly, from my experience and my travel, he does not deserve to have 80,000 followers on his channel. Yeah. Do you even know who I'm talking about? I'm wondering if you know who I'm talking about. I don't know if you do or not. So, um, yeah. So this weekend, um, I'll send it to I'll send it to you, and you're gonna be like, "What the heck?" Literally, the guy goes to one park and he won't go to any other park. And when you ask him, like, "Hey, why don't you go to some other parks or something like that?" He's like, "Well, I don't need to because my followers are here, and everybody else goes to the other parks and they tell me about it. So he's definitely not a roller coaster enthusiast. I honestly think he's terrified of them, but his whole goal is to get people to ride the rides that are afraid. So yeah, so that's fine if that's your platform, but you can't say you know roller coasters when you only go to one park over and over again. Um, you know that park, that's good, good for you. Um, but I like to be more. Most Insta followers are bots. Couldn't believe I rose to popularity. I left to focus on my real passion here, which is right. So yeah, that's kind of the way I feel too about like YouTube and TikTok. Like, I feel like it's a lot of bot followers, and I feel like it's a lot of people that aren't like necessarily into the content. Which is pretty annoying, um, because we spend. I know you do and I do. We spend a lot of time like getting our content out. I don't know if you see my new Sky Rush video just came out. I'm trying something different. Kind of excited about what I did, but let me know if you've watched that or not. That literally just dropped. I think like at 7 o'clock. So I'm interested to see if that has any traction on it at all. Let me see. Uh, No, it's got 2 on it already, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, I don't know how the analytics work, like, as far as, um, like, YouTube, like it says, I don't know if I wish I could go through and look to see. I know I probably can go but look through and see who my followers are on there and find out, kinda who the real people are and who the fake people are. I'd be interested to see kinda what that's all about. But, obviously, like I'm sitting on my live right now and I have 22,000 followers, but 21,000 followers. But no one's joining the live. So, like, how does YouTube push that? Obviously, I get on and I watch someone like the Carpetbagger who's got, millions of subscribers and stuff like that. And, 900 to 2,000 people are watching his live stream and they're giving him tips and credits and all that stuff and all that. So, um, I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? So, and it's kind of this like constant struggle. And it's like, okay, um, I do get invited to some of the media days. Yeah. See, you're kind of the same thing I am. I'm just trying to get mine where I can monetize it. Um, they want 3,000 view hours or whatever in 300 in for 365 days, which is crazy because I show that on my video numbers, but it doesn't show that in my earn column. So I'm like, why is it not counting that? Like, is there bots that are watching? Like bots obviously can't watch your stuff, which I'm like, I don't get it. Yeah, 5K subs, man. I like getting to 5 was tough. Getting to 10's harder. Getting to 15 is, I mean, I'm like, I don't know. But, I figured, with I've only been on YouTube for a year. So I'm wondering if, the second year maybe it gets better. I'm starting to get more recognized in the parks I go to. Because I do get invited to some of the media days. So I did Raptera's media day and um Flash's media day. I'm trying to get on the list right now to go to Busch Gardens media day, which I think might be Monday and Tuesday this week, and I've already got a trip planned to be there. So if I see they're doing a media event, I'm just gonna kind of walk over and be like, "Hey, I'm, so and so, and this is my channel." And none of your PR people will answer their emails. So it's really this is really funny. I don't know if you like looked into doing media day stuff or whatever or what, but the Busch Gardens has pretty much the worst guest relations department I've ever seen in a park, especially for the prices that you're paying to go there and to have a season pass. Um, they they places like Knoebels, Cedar Point, I've had no issues. Hershey Park, I've had no issues. King's Dominion, I've had no issues. And as soon as like when you call, like, so if I have an issue with my Hershey Park pass, I pick up the phone, I call Hershey Park, it gets answered by someone at Hershey Park, and then I talk to somebody and I go, hey, I need this fixed, I need that fixed, I need that fixed. Same with Great Adventure, same with Cedar Point. As soon as you call Busch Gardens, and the funny thing is they give you a 717 number to call, which is a Williamsburg exchange. It transfers you to India, to a call center where if you call there, you can literally hear hundreds of people talking in the background. I don't know if that's just strictly like a Busch Gardens call center, or if that's I don't know. I don't know if they're like marketed out to different companies or whatever, but like you can't call there and be like, hey, I'm a platinum pass holder and I want to know, what hotels are in the area, because they don't know. They're in India. They're looking basically when you call, they're looking at the same website that you can pull up. Um, you can pull up on the Busch Gardens website. So, I mean, they even have a button when you call that says, if you're a Platinum Pass member, press 2. And it still takes you to the same call center, no matter if you're a Platinum Pass holder or not. So, like, you can't get in touch with anybody in operations. You can't get in touch with anybody in security. You can't get in touch with anybody lost and found. You can't do anything there because it goes to there. Unless you're physically in the park, you can't do anything. So it's kind of one of those ones where you go, all right, I love Busch Garden to death. I love the park. I love the park president is amazing. But the rest of their people that are there, I, how hard is it to answer an email? I mean, I've typed to them and said, hey, this is my channel. I've done media days for this and this. I have this many followers. I have this much traction, blah, blah, blah. And then literally like crickets from Busch Gardens. I could type to Stacy at Knoebels right now and be like, hey, I'm coming up. She's going to be like, hey, make sure you find me when you're here, blah, 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 and, that it's just a better all around experience with these other parks. And like everybody wants to keep complaining about Six Flags and like them closing parks and stuff. And I'm sitting here going, well, at least with Six Flags, I can call and talk to somebody that works in the park, that knows the park, that knows the area, that knows. I mean, come on. Like, really? Have you seen how expensive the Platinum Pass is for Busch Gardens? I mean, really? Um, so yeah, I guess that's my rant on that right now. The I'm extremely happy. Like people keep asking me about America because I live in Maryland. Um, I'm actually kind of happy they're shutting that down. And I'll tell you why. The park is a money pit. It makes the company look bad. Um, they can't get employees. The employees they get there are terrible to mediocre at best. I've been there a couple times and I don't think I've ever seen an employee walking around happy to be there. Um, they did spend a lot of money, like revamping the park and getting new areas done and repainting and stuff like that. But what it all boils down to is the overall experience of that park. That the park is borderline dangerous. Um, it's in a really bad area. Their clientele is not the best. And I've never left a theme park where, I've left theme parks before and there's, one sheriff outside or, a cop car standing outside just kind of watching people leave. You leave Six Flags America on a Monday afternoon and there's 10 sheriff outside with their lights on, I've seen them all standing there in full battle rattle with their AR-15s, and you kind of look at it and you go, okay, well, if they weren't here, how safe is that? Hey, Loop De Loop, nice to see you, bud. So yeah, it's interesting. Like the whole thing with with America shutting down is like people don't realize that the land well, number one, it's a black guy in the park. So hold on, I just lost there we go. It's a black guy in the park, and the no, actually it's not. I don't know why everybody thinks it's so insane. The park is bleeding them dry. They don't get There's no people in the summertime. You can go there. Why is my program keep trying to open? That's weird. Um, Hang on a second. My computer is doing something weird. Let me see if I can figure it out. I think my hard drive's having an issue, but that's okay. The park is bleeding them dry. So if why does it keep doing that? The Six Flags is a company in Cedar Fair. The hatred for that park is real. I mean, they do have some. It's decent. Yes, it's a decent park. Give me 1 second. I want to figure out why this keeps trying to open stuff on my. It's being a pain in the butt, and I don't know why. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, let me know when you're back, and I'll kind of go more into the America thing. So the park is bleeding the company dry. They can't get employees that will show up on time or even be remotely proud to work there. They're constantly I've gone to that park, and employees are not on rides. They'll be it's insane, man. It's crazy. Food places will be open and then no one around, and it's like, well, where do they go? And it's just a weird park. If they would have I don't know if it's the management there, or it's just the area, or what it is, but I'm curious to see what happens the closer we get to the closing time, because I honestly think the employees are just gonna bail, and they're not gonna take care of the park. And what we'll see is August, September, October, when they're supposed to be open, they'll have days where they're just shut down because they can't get any employees. Or they'll open the park in little stages where it's okay, the employees are working here, and then in an hour they'll be over here, and then another half an hour they'll be over here. So it'll be interesting to see, towards the end of the season, what happens with that. What I find really amusing is that they got new trains for Superman. They just redid Steamtown. They just slapped a whole bunch of paint on stuff. I just watched a video. I forget who it was. That this is my home park, and they shouldn't close it. Blah blah. Look at all the paint and the work and all this stuff they did on it. But if you think about it, the parks that deserve the capital investment, the money into them, parks like Great Adventure is a big draw. King's Dominion's a draw, and then you have King's Dominion here, and Great Adventure here, and the crappy park in the middle. It's like an Oreo sandwich with they put crap in the middle. They can easily take that money from those rides and everything else that they're selling off, the land, the property, everything else, and close that park down, and it's not bleeding them dry. It take the money that they have and invest it into the parks that deserve it. So, Loopy, so I don't know if you caught the end of my statement there. So what they can do with America shutting down is they can take the money from, they just sold off land at King's Dominion, which was actually on the other side of 95. So the park 95 cuts like through the middle, and then that cuts through the middle, and then I wish I could figure out why my desktop keeps trying to open here. They sold the land on the other side of the park, which shouldn't have anything to do with like park development or anything. I think they bought that out to maybe put a hotel there, but they made a lot of money off of that. And the area where America sits is prime real estate. Now, the people in DC are saying, or I shouldn't say DC, in Bowie are saying, oh, well, we're not going to build apartments on it, blah, we're going to, yes, they will. That land is valuable land. It's close to DC. It's close to everything else. So, why would they not do that? But with that capital coming in, that money coming in, they can take that money and they can take millions of dollars and invest it in the properties in that area that deserve to have a better experience. Parks like King's Dominion, parks like Great Adventure. Great Adventure right now needs as much money as they can get to. They need to fix that park. And I think as a whole, Cedar Fair, Six Flags, they should just call it Cedar Fair. I think that they are the ones who are. Oh, that's why it keeps doing that, because it's attaching my camera. Got it. I think they are. They're looking at the bigger picture and they're going, okay, well, we don't need to have these parks in our library that are just costing us money. And then if they, yeah, you're right. Great Adventure deserves the money, and so does King's Dominion. It took King's Dominion. So I actually know Bridget Bywater from King's Dominion really well. She's like the overall operations manager, kind of acts as a park president. I see her pretty much every time I go. She was telling me like the reason that Volcano wasn't replaced as fast as it was because I don't know what's going on with my hard drive. Sorry. She was telling me like it took so much. They had to save because every time Cedar Fair was only giving them, $2.5 million or $5 million to do, into the park for the following year. You can't build a roller coaster. You can't really build anything new. That's why we got Tumbili, because they realized, okay, well, we can do a cheap ride. It kind of counts as a roller coaster. And they threw that in there because they had the money for it. It took them years of them constantly like saving money in order to have the money to build Rapterra. And then, that whole jungle expedition area around Tumbili. So yeah, right. That's why it took Rapterra so long to get built, because they didn't have the money to build it, because Cedar Fair is going, oh, well, we're not going to give you, the $35 million you need because we can't give you, your park's not getting that much people coming in. So I'm hoping that Rapterra draws a huge crowd this summer. I think it will. I think the GP is going to love it. I think it's a great ride. I think it's a great fit for that area. Right. Cedar Point does, yes. And Carowinds as well. And now it's going to be more Carowinds with the bigger budget, because that's where that's where they're headquartered at now. So they're headquartered. They're not even 20-minute drive away from where Carowinds is at now. They're in Six Flags corporate is in Charlotte. So yeah, they really so that's really funny about the whole Siren's Curse thing. So did they need Siren's Curse? Yes and no. They literally got Siren's Curse. I feel they got Siren's Curse just in case Top Thrill was not going to get cleared. I wish I could get this backup thing to stop. It's because I got my. The reason the camera keeps going out on me is because I've got the. I wonder if I can switch this to my webcam. Let me see if I can do that. It says I don't. That sucks. So yeah, I think Top Thrill is going to be fine. If they keep the maintenance up on it, it'll be fine. It basically boiled down to the trains last year, and that was a big part of it. They redesigned the trains. They took the stadium seating out, so it doesn't. But it does still shake. It just still has downtime. It's going to be highly affected by the weather. There's going to be a bunch of things that are going to affect that ride. I do think it'll be fine. But they literally got Siren's Curse to be a draw just in case Top Thrill 2 wasn't going to open. That's what I think. I think a lot of people think that if you pay attention to what the theme parks are doing, you can kind of figure that out. But yeah, if they were to said Top Thrill 2 is not going to open this year, but hey, Siren's Curse is going to open later. If they would have said Top Thrill 2 is done for the year, their ticket sales would have plummeted. Their season ticket passes, and they needed to build. Yeah, they really did not need a new coaster. Unfortunately, I won't be going to Universal till November. Actually, that's when I'm planning on going is November. So over Texas, that's the one in Dallas. Which one's the one in San Antonio? I know there's two Six Flags parks in Texas, and I can never figure out which one's which. But yeah, so if they would have not had Siren's Curse or even remotely started working on that, Fiesta. Okay, gotcha. So Fiesta Texas is the one that's that's built in the quarry with Krypton. Yeah, Dallas is over, right? So yeah, and like I've seen rumors going around that they were thinking about closing. Like there's rumors going around that they're closing, all these Six Flags parks, and that one of the Texas parks is going to be the next one to go. Texas is such a big state that they can handle having two parks. I'm going to the one with Mr. Freeze and New Tex Jet, right? Have you ever been on one of the Mr. Freezes? Because I rode the one in St. Louis. So like I don't know if nope, okay, cool. You'll enjoy that. That's a really, really good ride. Is it better than Flash? Different than Flash. It's a little bit more intense on the launches than Flash is. And yeah, I would say it's a little bit more intense than Flash, but I don't think that I was just reading Thrills production quote that he put or little chat thing he put at the top, and it said, Thuzies hated that park for years now, and now they're worshiping it just like they did to King the Cop. Right. So yeah, like you can't say, oh, like they should never close that park. Like how many times did you visit? Like how many times did you ever go there? Like and me being a coaster enthusiast and being a creator, like I have the pass for Six Flags. I could easily stop there, and I drive right by there on my way to Great Event or on my way to Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens, both directions. So one way or the other. So it's like, why do I skip going to that park? Well, number one, there's not a huge draw there. That's one. And two, they don't. The guest experience isn't great. I mean, if I go by myself, I'd probably be miserable. Every time I've gone there, like the past couple times, I've gone with a group of friends, and that makes it more fun. But like we spent 3 hours in that park, rode everything on like a Monday afternoon, and we took off and went to King's Dominion like that night. So it's kind of like, okay, like, yeah, community so nasty. Yeah. So we do live in a very toxic, our community is extremely toxic. I I try not to be one of the people that's toxic, but every once in a while, like the the toxicity side comes out on me just a little bit. Like I was just talking about the guy at Busch Gardens. I mean, there's a reason why I don't like his content, and it's not just because yeah. Yeah, like yeah, complaining about everything in a park. And like I saw people complaining like in the Cedar Point group that Cedar Point wasn't ready and the weather. I'm like, dude, it's the weather. What are you going to do about the weather? Um I also feel like Great Adventure is massively underrated by the community. I don't think that. I think that people don't realize that one of the big things with Great Adventure is the ride removals and all this stuff, and then the 50th birthday being a problem. And then what I kept seeing was people just saying, oh, it's because of the merger, it's because of the merger, it's because of the merger. And I'm going, well, wait a minute. Six Flags has been great. Well, great, I shouldn't say Six Flags. Great Adventure has been going downhill for the last 4 or 5 years. And then to what they did during the birthday celebration, it's almost unforgivable. If that was my home park, I'd be pissed at what they did. They promised this and they promised that, and then every single one of those promises was broken. Down to they didn't get things open on time. They didn't have the resort open on time. They didn't have the bricks down. They didn't have everything there. They weren't prepared. And opening day this year, uh, there's so many people that were like, "Oh, opening day was like the greatest they've had in a long time." Dude, I'm sorry, but waiting 3 hours for food, like in a line for 3 hours to get food because the places weren't open. I'm going, that's unforgivable. Like, especially people that have like the dining pass and stuff like that. Yo, like, that's insane. I went all day opening day. Yeah, you're right. 2024, they destroyed that park. And they were destroying that park, subsequently going up the ranks to that. So, like, year after year, there was something they were doing that was making that park like look like garbage. It's insane. But like 2024, and then so the Halloween event comes up, and that was a total failure. And then after Halloween, and like the people like keep getting away with it. Like the park just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, and the fans of Great Adventure are just let them get away with it. I mean the yeah, right. So on opening day, I literally did not even get a drink in the park all day, because I didn't have a drink all day. That entire day we were there because I wasn't going to go stand in line, and I have the drink plan on top of that. Like the drink places were like hour-long lines just to get a drink. Food was 2 hours long. Like that's insane. And then no one is talking about it. Like I see the videos come out where people are like, "Oh, I'm a Great Adventure, and this place is so great," and like everything was running good and blah blah blah. Dude, you're missing things. Like you're letting the park get away with it for what? I mean, I'm sorry, but like if I own my own detailing company, if I go out and half-ass a car, they're going to complain about it. And they're going to want their money back. I mean, that's borderline ridiculous. And then so I don't know if you guys have figured out like the logistics. Can't wait till the Orlando parks or my home parks in the future. Won't be able to deal with. Yeah, right. So I'm planning on moving back down there eventually. I think maybe not 2026, but 2027. I'm thinking about moving back down to Florida. I'm thinking about, as of right now, returning to Cedar Point in 2026 as an employee. Um, Not as a ride host. I either, ride management or um, some sort of ride operation, somewhere in the ride operations department, because um, my knowledge just to go back and work as a ride op is it would behoove me to do that. So um sorry, I have to keep shutting down this like thing that keeps popping up. Like it keep for some strange reason my hard drive keeps opening and like showing me stuff, and I'm like, well, why is it doing that? And like I'm like borderline on the process of like tearing that down because it keeps just popping up and saying like, I wonder if I can close that. No, I can't. And that just keeps popping this up. So yeah, and then to figure out like at the end, Busch Gardens SeaWorld is a better chain. They don't have okay. So yeah, I don't know if you saw my or you heard my comment earlier, but I made a comment saying that Busch Gardens and SeaWorld are some of my favorite parks in the area. But their guest relations department there is awful. You can't get in touch with anybody if you can't call the park directly, um, which is not a good thing. So yeah, you do have to deal with a lot of BS with that. But yeah, that can get pretty annoying rather quickly. As far as you can't you call India when you call. Yeah, you won't see it in the parks. If you're in the parks, communication is easy with guest relations and stuff like that once you're there. It's when you're outside of the parks trying to, pay for your season pass or update something on your profile or something like that. You have to actually physically call them to talk to somebody. You're getting sent to a call center in India. I absolutely cannot stand that, especially with how much the season passes cost. But anyway, I want to get back on this great adventure thing real quick. So, um, people don't realize. I want you guys to make a comment after I list this, and then like once I say it, I want to see what your guys' thoughts are. So, my whole theory on the Flash not opening on time is because they knew prior to the season that they were going to tear King the Cow down. Um, and if they would have opened Flash last year, they would have had Ka and Flash, and it would have been a huge draw because Flash is new, and of course people travel from all over to ride Ka. But they literally purposely delayed Flash opening. This is my thoughts and exactly what I would do if I was them too. Is they knew they were tearing Kyle down, so they're not going to open Flash. They're going to say, okay, let's delay Flash. That way, in 2025, we have a draw. And that's exactly what they did. So that's my thoughts on the whole thing. Not, I don't know if that's real or if that's just my thought process, but that's literally exactly what I would have done if I knew that I was going to tear down my biggest attraction in the park. I would have been like, hey, let's delay that and we'll open it the following year. And, everybody that had season passes for last year, go screw yourself. We don't care. Buy a new season ticket for next year and you can be the first people to ride Flash. Right? So I want to know I want to know what your whole thing says. No matter what excuse anyone says doesn't matter. It's yeah, but like you have to think of it this way too. Like Ka was what, almost 20, right? So how long was the shelf life of that coaster, and what really was going on? Because literally Top Thrill was built first. Top Thrill was better maintained. They did have problems with Top Thrill, maintenance wise, before the accident. And then, you know, they could have done the same thing to Ka. But I have a feeling it had more to do with Zumanjaro, and then the state of New Jersey, with their inspections and everything. New Jersey is brutal on theme parks. That's why Gillian's Wonderland shut down. That's one of the main reasons that Gillian's Wonderland shut down, was because of ride inspectors and stuff like that, and then the taxes and everything else in that state. But yeah, they tried really hard, um, you know, to. I don't know if there was even an attempt to try to save Ka. You got to remember that what Six Flags did when they opened Top Thrill Dragster and Top Thrill Dragster, and the coaster war going back and forth. Well, we got Ka, and Ka's bigger and taller, and now we have the biggest, tallest, and fastest. And then Cedar Fair is like, we don't like that. It's pretty much eliminating the competition and then putting the draw back on to Top Thrill 2, which Cedar Point is their flagship park, and it should have something that is of that caliber. And I honestly, I don't blame them for doing that. You guys just have to remember one thing: the parks don't exist to make us happy. Um, they advertise and they market and they, give us cool stuff and they build new rides for us and stuff like that. But the overall goal of those parks is to make money. If they're not making money and they're losing money, then they have a problem. That's why they're taking America out. That's why they're tearing rides like King to Ka down. That's why they're doing this and doing that. It's because, oh, dude, right. They're there to make money. If the park is not making money, you have Six Flags as an organization. How many shareholders across the board? And they're going, we're not making money. And why aren't we making money? They want money. It all comes down to money. There's no reason why I go to a park like Knoebels and I get a freaking amazing meal for $20 and a drink for $20. I mean, a full plate of food, like restaurant style food. I go to Great Adventure, I order a hot dog and fries and a soda, and you're looking at $30 to $35. A hot dog, I think just a hot dog at Great Adventure is $20 without French fries. So, right. So it's all about money. And Great Adventure isn't that much worse than Cedar Point, if at all. Dragster is in some random town in a relatively irrelevant state. Popularity differential is huge. So wait a minute. You think, right? So Great Adventure should be a destination park. They should have big rides. They should have big everything. And Six Flags never treated it like that. They don't even treat the one in California like that. They're so. Six Flags was a company that in my lifetime has filed bankruptcy at least 5 times. I never saw Cedar Fair do that. Cedar Fair never declared bankruptcy. Right, right. So the two big parks, I'm gonna take the whole merger thing out of this. So Six Flags does not know how to run their parks. That's what the big issue was with Six Flags. Six Flags, and then they get a new park president. They get Salim Basul comes in there and he screws up everything. And then everybody's like, oh, well, no, it's the merger's fault. No, it was Salim Basul's fault. And oh yeah, dude, they had so many problems in Six Flags as a whole, as a company, that literally the merger pretty much like saved their asses. I mean, I could see if they wouldn't have merged together, Cedar Fair was doing this. They were going up. Like every year after COVID, they're going up. And Great Event and Six Flags is just tanking. And you can look it up. I mean, I'm not making that shit up. Right. Why did it shut down Geauga Lake? Very easy reason why they shut down Geauga Lake. It was not making any money. Even as they literally, Cedar Fair came in there and bought that park out just to eliminate any competition that they had in Ohio, which is perfectly fine. You're allowed to do that. And then they realized, oh shit, that place isn't making any money. That's why they got rid of it. They didn't even attempt to keep the water park. They were just like, park's in a shitty location. There's no lodging anywhere around that place. It's in the middle of freaking nowhere, and we can't draw visitors. I mean, it's that easy. SeaWorld left first. SeaWorld left first because they weren't making any money. Then Great Adventure, or Six Flags jumps in and goes, oh, yeah, Six Flags jumps in and goes, oh, hey, well, we'll buy out the Six Flags and we'll make this a huge, massive park. They dump a huge amount of money into it. And then without doing any research on what their income was. It was like, what are you doing? And right. So then Cedar Fair goes, oh, well, we see that failing. And they just hop right in and go, hey, we're going to buy that. And they literally paid pennies on the dollar for the park, shut them down. And now they have the two most successful parks in Ohio, probably in the Midwest. Kings Island and Cedar Point are freaking amazing. So, right. But yeah, location has a huge role in drawing people. Yeah, exactly. I mean, King's Dominion's not in the it's in the middle of nowhere, but they're getting draw from DC, from Virginia, and then Busch Gardens is slammed all the time because of the tourist destination with it being in Williamsburg. I mean, could you imagine? Hershey's the same way. Hershey's in a town that everybody knows, and if you don't go to the theme park, there's a ton of other stuff to do in the town. You go to King's Dominion, there's a truck stop and 4 hotels and a 7-Eleven in Doswell. That's it. I mean, really? But that park has the potential of being freaking crazy investment into that park would pay off. Back in the 90s when Paramount owned it, that place was crazy fun. I'm reading all you guys' comment. Hold on. Location has a huge role. I'm sorry, this stupid thing just keeps popping up on me and it's driving me insane. And I think it's because of the camera I'm using. You can see it like in the pictures, it just keeps popping up. Let's see, location, but I don't think it's KI and CP should be flagships because of their locations. Hershey is a single park, so it's different for them. Right. So yeah, Hershey is in a league of its own. If you imagine if it was just Cedar Point and Cedar Point owned Cedar Point and that was it. I mean, the amount of money that they'd be making. Right. SeaWorld was much better when Anheuser owned it. When Anheuser-Busch actually owned those parks, they were run much, much better than they are now. That's true, but I don't think KI and CP should be the flagship. Okay, so Cedar Point is going to be, should be the flagship park. And the reason being is because the history. You can't take a park that has, that park has so much history, so much nostalgia, and then the location. Even they say, oh, well, you know, it's on a little peninsula in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, and I got to drive through farm fields to get there. Dude, Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland. I mean, Ohio as a whole is massive. Cedar Point has always been a huge destination park, and it's always featured. It was the leader of all the roller coaster wars and the first to get everything. I mean, dude, first 200, first 300, first 400. First coaster to go upside down 3 times. I mean, dude, first. Like, no other park has done that. So you can't say, oh, well, Cedar Point shouldn't be a flagship. Okay. Kings Island is in the perfect location. You got Cincinnati, Dayton, Akron, people coming out of Kentucky, people coming out of Tennessee, West Virginia. Dude, you have so much draw. I mean, that's what it takes. I mean, you would think that a park like Great Adventure would have a huge stream of people coming in because it's New York, Philly, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, but it's the way that the park is managed. So okay, so you disagree with me because Kings Dominion are located near much bigger cities. Richmond and what? DC? That's where Kings Dominion's between. New York alone is bigger than Detroit, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. Yeah, true. But New York, if you think about it, New York is big and it has its own parks in it. And it also, people are actually, the farther people up north are closer to more like Canada's Wonderland and more of Cedar Point if you're in New York. Why would you go to Jersey? Why would you travel all the way from northern Albany, New York, or Syracuse or Buffalo and go to Great Adventure? You're going to go to Darien Lake. You're going to go to the parks in Connecticut. You're going to go across to Canada, or you're going to go to Cedar Point. So, Boston as well. Right. So Boston, you got a Six Flags in Boston. People in Boston I know do travel down and go to Great Adventure. I've met people there, but I've been in Cedar Point and I've met people from Buffalo. I've met people from Pittsburgh. I've met people from Canada. You go to Great Adventure and you get New Jersey, New York, and some people from Philadelphia, and occasionally a Marylander like me. But yeah, New York people. So here's the thing, right? What's the one thing that the people that live in New York City don't have? Think about it. What don't 90, it's like 90% of people who live in New York City don't have what? I want you to answer that question. Don't have what? Bloopy, do you know what it is? %90 of people who live in New York City don't drive. They don't have a car. So they don't have a car. A lot of the people that live and work in New York City don't have cars because it costs. Oh, the question was, what do about 90% of people who live in New York City don't have? And the answer is a car. They don't need a car. It's super expensive to keep a car if you live in New York City. It's yeah, but can you take the train to Great Adventure? I don't think so. I mean, yeah, you can take the train around, but does it go to Great Adventure? I don't think so. Is there a train stop? Yeah, I know it's dirt cheap. There are no train tracks to Great. Right, right. So yeah, good point. Yeah, you can take the train, but does the train stop at Great Adventure? Does it go anywhere near Great Adventure? I don't think so. You need a car. You need a car to get to these places. You need a plane. If you're going to take a train, you got to get to the train station. So, no, but you could get an Uber for 20 minutes from Brunswick. Okay. So, how much does a 20-minute Uber ride cost to go to Great Adventure? Probably from Brunswick. It stops in Brunswick? Okay. So if you're going from New York City, so you're going to have to leave New York City. Then you're going to have to take the train. Then you're going to have to Uber a car to the park, Uber a car back to the train station, and then take the train back to go home. So, in all honesty, you couldn't do it. It's not a rich matter or a money matter. It's a time matter. That's what it comes down to. How long is it going to take you? Okay, so I'll give you a prime example. I'm a huge Washington Capitals fan. The Capitals play in DC. DC from me is hour and 45-minute drive if there's no traffic. So, however, to get down there, if I drive down, I'm going to sit in traffic on 495. I'm going to sit in traffic on 50, and then it's going to cost me anywhere between 50 to 100 and $125 to park my car for the game. If I don't want to walk freaking 30 blocks to the game. So what we do is we drive from here. We drive down to Greenbelt. We get on the metro, which is cheap, which is like $6 round trip. Get down there, take the train. The train stops right underneath to the place where the game is. I walk upstairs. I go to the game. Then I leave. I take the train back. It takes from the time the game's over. The game is over at 10 p.m. It takes me until 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning to get home because the train is slow. You have to wait for all the other people. But the logic for CP, I don't know who would drive 4 hours to Cedar Point from Chicago. Guess what? There's an actual train stop in Sandusky, and it's literally 10 minutes from the park. So, yeah. And people from Chicago come down here all the time. And Detroit and Chicago are not big cities. Yeah, but Detroit and Chicago might not be big cities, but the outlying cities around those areas are rather large. And I mean, you can argue with me all you want about, where parks should be located or whatever. I just look at the numbers. I look at what parks are doing successful. I look at what parks are getting more capital investment, new rides, new attractions, new things added onto them. And the reason that they do that is because those parks are making money. Great Adventure is, I don't know if they're not making money or not. But what it all boils down to is management and then park expenditure, like what they're putting the money into. Cedar Point is more successful because of it. Right. Exactly. Right. So, number one, their investments. Dick Kinzel, when he was there and he was running Cedar Fair, put a lot of capital investment into Cedar Point. He wanted Cedar Point to be the roller coaster. He wanted it to be what it is now, and he did that. When he left, there was a significant change in pretty much everything. Because of his investment, same with Magic Mountain. Magic Mountain is extremely successful because of its investments and its location. That park is, I've never seen a video of anyone doing anything in that park where it is not busy. Or talk to people who have gone to that park and said, we went on a Tuesday afternoon and it was raining and the rides were shut down and there were still 3 and 4 hour waits for stuff. And I'm going, okay, well, yeah, don't forget renting cars is an option for New Yorkers. Yeah, but that's super expensive too. I mean, just for me, like I've looked at renting a big car to take 8 people to Cedar Point, and it was like $400 for the $400 or more for the week, with unlimited mileage and then putting gas in and all that. So it's just cheaper to drive my car. Yeah, I mean, I understand that's always an option. Next time you go to Great Adventure, talk to some of the guests while you're waiting in line and find out, where they came from, if they drove in. Um, hey, where are you from? I ask people all the time in line. People stand in front of me, I tap them on the shoulders. Oh hey, I don't recognize your accent. Where are you from? Great Adventure is people from everywhere. Um, Cedar Point's a Midwest crowd. Kings Island definitely a Midwest crowd. Um, it was just you and a few others. It wouldn't be that much. Yeah, but like I said, there's when people go to theme parks, if they look at it the way I do, they look at a theme park and they go, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go to um, Great Adventure tomorrow. I want to go to Great Adventure tomorrow." Are they going to sit down and say, "Okay, let me figure out all the train stuff. Let me figure out, hotel. Let me figure out this and that." Um, Us being enthusiasts, we can do it rather quickly. Um, Yeah, yeah, but yeah, okay, yeah. Location wise, the amount of population that lives near Great Adventure and Magic Mountain does crush Cedar Point. But guess what? That doesn't mean anything. You can have a huge population and they don't go to the parks. Um, you can have people. I mean, I travel all over the place. There's people from everywhere. It's kind of like Florida. Have you ever noticed in Florida that when you go to the Florida, if you haven't been to the Florida theme parks, you've been to the Florida theme parks, the people who are in the parks aren't locals. The locals don't go. The people that um yeah, I've been to Busch Gardens, Tampa. I worked at Universal and SeaWorld, so yeah, of course I've been to Busch Gardens, Tampa. That's in a really crappy area. that park's in that park's in yeah, that shade. Like you stay it's like Six Flags in Atlanta. You don't stay anywhere within like um what's square? Been to BGT square. What's square? I'm reading your comments as I'm talking here. Um, yeah, only reason CP is more successful is because they have Cedar Fair as well. No, Cedar Point was okay. So Thrill Productions, tell me why the company was called Cedar Fair. Tell me why the company was called Cedar Fair. Loopy, I want you to answer that question. Why is Cedar Fair called Cedar Fair? And I can tell you exactly. Did you hear the question? No. Right. Okay, Cedar. Right. Cedar Fair was called Cedar Fair because of the two parks, Cedar Point and Valley Fair, and they merged with those two names together. Right. So Cedar Point was Cedar Point by itself. They merged with Valley Fair, and Cedar Fair started out as Cedar Point and Valley Fair. Then they acquired the Paramount parks from there, and that's how the park that they got big. Cedar Point and Valley Fair, there were two parks in the chain. They had the money. It's not Cedar Fair's wallet. Cedar Fair's wallet got bigger because Cedar Point was a destination park. In the 80s and 90s, Cedar Point dominated everyone across the board. Everyone up across the board. Right. It's right. I can hold it by history because Cedar Point made the right investments where Great Adventure was blowing money left and right. That's why Cedar Point is a successful park. That's why Kings Island is a successful park. They make money, they keep the crowds there. The guest experience is incredible. They have, they do have all the parks have issues, but that's the reason why. I mean, you can look at the little if you want to do it this way, look at the little parks. Do you know where Knoebels is located? It's located in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. And they draw a huge crowd. And they put the money that they make from that park, instead of sticking it in their pockets, they put it right back into the park and they make the park even better. Influential theme parks of all times. Right. Kings Island. The parks that were influential. Magic Mountain and Cedar Point. The Coaster War. The two Coaster War parks that started it all and dominate the market are those two parks. Right. Great Adventure was trying to make themselves better by building bigger rides and putting all this money into the park just to go bankrupt. Those rides that they put in, really, I mean, they went bankrupt. Six Flags went bankrupt. Cedar Point and Cedar Fair have never gone bankrupt in their lifetime. And there's a reason for that, because the parks are run exceptionally well. They were one of the most influential theme parks of all time. Right. Go on, do your history, find out how many records that Magic Mountain set, how many records or firsts that Cedar Point had, and then look at what Great Adventure had. Look at what Great Adventure did during the Coaster Wars. Knoebels does get big crowds. Why? They don't even have to advertise. That park is basically run from word of mouth. It's all people going, oh, you've never been to Knoebels? Maybe you should go there. It's awesome. Check it out. It's free. Blah, 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 blah. And they don't rip their guests off. Where these big companies are ripping us off and getting away with bullshit all the time. And we let them get away with it. And we keep paying for it. And we don't care. Because we just want to go ride roller coasters. So, not even close to Great Adventure crowds. Comparing crowd size at Knoebels to a huge park like Great Adventure is completely absurd. Of course, Great Adventure is going to have bigger crowds. They're located in the middle of freaking 3 huge cities. It makes sense. But where Knoebels is the better guest experience. Great Adventure can't keep up with that. Great Adventure fails. Look at Hershey. I know Hershey's only one park, but people as of right now would rather go to Hershey than go to Great Adventure. Why? Not because Hershey's got better rides. It's the overall experience that the guests get at the park. That's what it boils down to. You guys are really get to see my opinions tonight. I kind of like it. I've been doing this for too long, man. I should do a channel on what works and what doesn't work sometimes. I'm like, okay. Knoebels apparently is run better. Of course, Knoebels is run better. It's a smaller park. It's run by a family, and they care about it. The people that work there care about it. The staff cares about it. The owners care about it. They genuinely want to be a better park. They want to be a better draw, but they're small. So they live in that small market, which is fine. That's what they do, and they do it well. It's bread and butter. I mean, it's pretty much how it boils. Just because it's run better doesn't mean it's better. That's depends on your opinion. If it's a better, would you rather go to a park that has a better overall guest experience, or would you rather go to a park where they're nickel and diming you for everything? They might have big coasters and big rides. The guest services sucks. The ride attendants suck. The park is in shambles. It's dirty. What do you want to spend your money on? Right. And you're right. Theme parks were never made for 30. They were made for the GP. We're a very small niche in the community. Let's see. I don't go theme parks for the experience. I go for coasters. Six Flags isn't that bad. I never said it was that bad. What I'm saying is they got away with a lot of stuff that affected the overall guest experience in the park, and it's costing them people coming to the park. Sure, the park's going to be busy on a Saturday and a Sunday, but let's go to the park in June on a Monday afternoon and find out how many people are there. And then we'll go look at Cedar Point's numbers on a Monday and see how many people there. And then go to America, see how many people there. Great Adventure's draw right now is people coming to ride the Flash. That's the draw. Carowinds is higher than Magic Mountain Great Adventure on a lot of people's list. Right. Um, I like Carowinds. I don't think it's their greatest park. I still think Cedar Point holds a huge. I think in order of the parks, I would go Kings Island, Cedar Point, um, Carowinds as far as my overall experience in those parks. Kings Island is just so good. Um, and Carowinds isn't just for the Thuzies. No, the Carowinds is a good park. I mean, you just can't build. You just can't build it if the Thuzies were the biggest people that were making the parks money. Why would they just not build a park and just fill it with roller coasters and screw everything else? Because that's not the roller coasters are a draw for us, but for the general public, they could care less. They want shows, fair prices, stuff for their kids to do. You know, that's pretty much how it works. I love to go to KI. Thrill, we're going sometime, and you're always more than welcome to tag along with us if you want to go. Canada's Wonderland, love that park. Right. So I went to Canada's Wonderland years ago before all the big stuff was added. And I loved it. It was super busy when we were there. Um, but yeah, that's a great park. I would probably put that uh somewhere. I haven't been there for so long I can't even rank it anymore. But in my opinion, Universal is the best chain, hands down. Yes. Um, Universal is phenomenal. Um, they're spending money on their theme parks, are spending money on their theming, they're spending money on the rides, they're upping technology upgrades, they're really pushing the market, and I love that. That's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, like that park does it. Do you guys know I worked for them, right? Did you guys know that? I worked at Universal. Probably be easier just to do this and show you, but there's a Dueling Dragons statue. So I worked on Dueling Dragons and I loved it. I also worked at SeaWorld on Kraken, but that was I worked on Kraken when it was still owned by Anheuser-Busch before Anheuser-Busch sold out to InBev, and then I was out of the park by now. Now they're run by SeaWorld, so I don't know. My buddy Connor works for them down there. He says they're okay. I'm guessing it was a lot better when I worked there. When I worked at Universal, it was unbelievably good. It was just fun places to work. I would rather work at Universal or SeaWorld over Cedar Point or anything like that. The problem with Cedar Point is Cedar Point, you don't get solid employees because they're seasonal parks. So the seasonal parks, you'll have just this constant turnover employees, and then they just right now those parks are so desperate for employees. They're like they literally won't even fire anybody. When I worked there, if you messed up, they're like, go home. Like we got someone to replace you, and it's not like that anymore. um, no, I mean we just got back from Cedar Point. Busch Gardens Tampa is a fantastic park. Busch Gardens Williamsburg is a fantastic park. Cedar Point to me, because it's so far away and I work there, will always be the park I always think about going to. I mean, I love it there. The location is great. I've got friends that live up there I can stay with, so it doesn't cost me anything to stay up there. Um, the park is it's just so nostalgic for me, and I think that's also what keeps so many people going back. I grew up with Hershey, going to Hershey as a child. I will never ever ever get rid of my Hershey Park season pass. um, that place could be down to one roller coaster and I'd still have a season pass, because that's where I grew up, that's where my grandparents took me. I go there, and I see my grandparents when I'm there, just in certain places, and certain things we did. And my parents, that's where I grew up. Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens were like luxury trips. Um, in the summer when I was a kid to oh yeah, Montu's definitely better than Raptor, but we're gonna start about that chapter. Alpengeist kicks all their asses. So Albie is my number one. Invert Montu is my number two. Banshee's my number three. Cheetah Hunt's great. A little uncomfortable with the restraints. Um, Thrill, where do you live at? You're in Jersey, right? I know Loopy is. Here in South Jersey. Um, are you doing anything Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or do you work, or do you go to school, or what? What's your whole thing? So you live near Gage and all them, right? So we're going to me and Charlie. The girls can't go because Gage has got school, and free in my house every day because I do flexible from my career here on YouTube. Okay. Universal Orlando, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Six Flags Great Advantage. It's just money is my main priority. Right. If you can ever afford it, we go down to Busch Gardens. I have a platinum pass, so I get free tickets for there all the time. Charlie and I are hitting Kings Dominion, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Sunday, we're leaving Sunday morning, and then we won't be back until Tuesday night because I have to work on Wednesday. Just my yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, like yeah, I mean, you got like I've been on all the rides at Tampa except Iron Gwazi. I'm missing that one. Anybody going to or to I I want to go to Texas. I think before I do Texas, the park that's like my one that I want to get to over everything because 2020 I had a trip planned, I had airfare booked, I had everything done to go in July of 2020 is I got to get to Silver Dollar City. I absolutely love Dollywood, and the from what everybody tells me is Dollywood and Silver Dollar City are on the same level as far as the rides and the guest experience and everything else. So yeah, I I love Dollywood. The guest experience overall at Dollywood, I don't think can be matched anywhere. Um, the theming, the food, the rides, everything is so good. Um, so um, to go out to Branson would be a huge goal out of the way. But I know we have some trips coming up. Gage's birthday is coming up. And we've got something planned. I'm not going to say anything on here because she watches my videos. I don't even know if she's watching the live stream I'm doing now. But the priority, are you going to over Texas soon or Great Adventure? Um, I'll go to Great Adventure um probably in a couple weeks. I've already done 3 visits this year. One was for opening day, and then I did media day and commercial shoot for Flash. So, like, I've got my Flash rides in, so it's not like I don't have to. You literally just said the Silver Dollar City looks incredibly overrated, bro. Bro, no, Dollywood, no. That's how I can tell you've never been there. Yeah, right. So Throw Productions, right. So yeah, they're yeah. Loopy, Silver Dollar City, and Dollywood are uh Dollywood is absolutely incredible. The location, the people, it's just all together like that park is it's incredible. Yeah, they look like Fiesta testing. What? Thrill, you been have any of you guys been to Dollywood? I don't know how you can compare a Six Flags park, any Six Flags park, to Dollywood or to Silver Dollar City. Yeah. So, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, Dollywood and Silver Dollar City are two of the highest ranked parks like in the world. Um, it's like I'm like you really just compared Six Flags Fiesta Texas to Dollywood. Like, I don't know about that. Um, Holiday World in Indiana is another park that's run really well. Holiday World, Knoebels, Dollywood that I've been to are run really, really well. Kings Island's run really well. So yeah, let me ride Big Bear and eat cinnamon bread. Right. See exactly what I'm talking about. Like there's more to that park than just the rides. There's the whole overall experience. Hey, go to Great Adventure, cool. They got really cool coasters, but is their food any good? Not really. Is the park clean? Not really. Is like you got to look at the overall thing. So, uh, so Thrill is there. Loopy, where are you at? Where are you located at? Silver Dollar City's coasters look trash. Really? Hmm. Because the last time I checked, they have they're in Eastern Pennsylvania. Cool. Um, Silver Dollar Cities look trash. They have Outlaw Run. They have Time Traveler. They have Powder Keg. They have B&M Wildfire. They've got Fire in the Hole. So Outlaw has a rattle from what I've heard. Yeah, it's the original RMC, correct? So yeah, I mean Batman has a rattle, Dirty Devil has a rattle, Nitro has a rattle, Toro definitely has a rattle. I mean, come on, they all rattle. Wildfire looks trash compared to Hulk. Yeah, well, Wildfire is not Hulk. I mean, that's two different. Dominator is the biggest floorless on the planet. Is that the best floorless? No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been there, so Outlaw is not the first one. Nitro does not have a rattle. Okay. Um, does Bat? Yeah. Okay. Nitro maybe not. That doesn't have a rattle. Okay, fine. It's a hyper coaster. It shouldn't have a rattle anyway. Trento looks very underrated, overrated. Outlaw Run has a rattle from what I've heard. Wildfire looks like trash. Powder Keg, nothing left. Outlaw is not the first one. Nitro and Dirty Devil opened in 2021. Toro does in the wheel seats. Batman runs great. What do you consider a rattle? The train moving like this is not a rattle. The train moving like this is not a rattle. A rattle is a B&M thing. So I don't have a problem with rattles. It's generally unless what I really want to bring up to people. Okay. That's just a vibration. Have you been on Gemini? Right. So the vibration, I don't care if it's shaky as long as it's not painful. Right. That's normal. You can't if the train is shimmying left and right, which is called hunting, that can be painful. And if a train is jackhammering, that can be painful as well. Um, but yeah, it's a B&M thing. Then why did you say Toro and Devil have one? Toro doesn't have a rattle per se. It has a hunting where it's moving left and right, and it also has tracking issues. So yeah, that's why it had the accident was because of the roughness of it. I love Toro though. So but yeah, the rattle is going to be caused by a couple things. The vibration, if a train is vibrating the entire time, that's a headache machine. Gemini at Cedar Point vibrates. like literally like a real low grade vibration, that that will get you. But yeah, rough is rough, rattle is rattle. Hunting and jackhammering are all separate things. Here to confess that I'm the biggest Toro fan on the planet. No, you're not. No, you're not. I guarantee you the Gage beats you on every single aspect. Gage and Steph will run laps around you on Toro. So I can't even make like a statement like in a park somewhere we'll be talking about something and Toro comes up on in conversation every time. I mean, entire time we were at Cedar Point, they were like, King to call this and King to call that. And I'm like, we're not a great adventure. Like, I get it. Toro is good. I hope they put the money in the investment back into Toro that it deserves, because it deserves all the love it needs. I know that they announced like the 3-year plan or whatever. I'm just hoping that they really step that up and that ride goes back to what it was when it opened. Great Adventure has a better lineup than what? I want to know what you're talking about there. You said Great Adventure clearly has a better lineup. There's no way SCC. There's no way SCC. Yo, Thrill, that's funny as shit. There's no way SEC does as crazy as a Magic Way. Yeah, but so they don't have to build big coasters like Great Adventure does, because number one, I think they have height restrictions there. Number one, because of where it's located. But that park literally is in the middle of nowhere in the Ozark Mountains, and I guarantee you their numbers are better than Great Adventures as far as the draw. And they're literally in the middle of nowhere. Maurice is so underrated. Maurice is underrated, but it's very expensive. I love Nor'easter, best SLC on the planet. That's why there's a picture of it. Right, I can't get there. Right there. That one. Yeah, that one there. That one there. That one there. I can't get my hand right. That one. Yeah, that one. What's a chain of 2 parks? Silver Dollar City? Is that what you're talking about? That looks similar to my 2020 new Oyster photo. I'm pretty sure your 2022 picture doesn't look anything like my Nor'easter picture. Pretty sure about that. It's like my Nitro picture. How many people do you know have a Nitro picture like that? That's mine. That's Gillian's Wonderland right there. And yes, I do have a King to Ka patch. I can never figure out. That way goes that way. That way goes that way. My King to Ka patch is right there. And my Toro one is up there. When Dollywood gets very close attendance to Great Adventure. I highly doubt that. Canyons was my first ever theme park, and I worked there the whole entire 2023. Where'd you work at in 2023 there? I was there a couple times. 2023. Yeah, 2022 is when I really started visiting that place, because cool. No, I don't believe I wouldn't agree with that comment at all. I mean, Universal across the board is going to be a better, but Silver Dollar City probably isn't as expensive as a trip to Universal. Dollywood. See, the thing is those parks are different. They're so different. It's like I see people all the time that just hate on Knoebels, and they're like, Knoebels isn't that great, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, compared to what? And they're like Hershey, and I'm like, yo, Hershey is massive, multi-billion-dollar company. Knoebels is a lumber mill and a theme park and a campground and a golf course, and that's about it. So, like, Really? Yeah, Dollywood is very special. It's just different. It's the hospitality in that park is just off the chain crazy. Uh, so at Knoebels, they allow you to take your dog in. There's no gate. Um, there's no gate. There's security. Like when you come in either side, there's actually like four entrances. If you come in the main parking lot, there's no gate. You can bring in your own food. You can bring in your dog. It doesn't cost anything to walk in. The food is very good, rather inexpensive, and even for an all-day ride pass, I think it's you can get online for $50 for the day. I mean, that ain't bad, man. A lot of people bring their dogs to Knoebels because there's a lot of people that go there that don't ride rides. So they'll go there to eat, they'll go there to hang out with their families or whatever else, or they're camping, they'll bring their dogs. The campgrounds are literally almost all the way around Knoebels. So people bring their dogs camping and stuff like that. You can walk them through the park. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I love it. I think it's great. It's kind of Knoebels is more like down home, like homey kind of campgroundy, outdoorsy kind of thing. I mean, no one's bringing their freaking giant pit bulls to their attack pit bulls and stuff. They're bringing their there's all different types of dogs. I've seen everything there. What people would take their dog. Most people would take their dog somewhere else. What do you? Somewhere else. The parks don't let dogs in the park unless they're a service animal. Besides Knoebels that I know of, I haven't seen dogs in a park other than Knoebels, just service animals here and there. But yeah, I mean, people are there. People go to Knoebels and they stay a week. They camp right behind Twister. They can walk into the park whenever they want. They have the big swimming pool there. They got camping pavilions and they've got like places to eat, like pavilions to eat at with picnic tables and all that stuff, where you can whatever. I mean, it's yeah. But I know when we were there for opening weekend, there was a lot of people there with dogs, and there were a lot of people camping. That's another big draw for Knoebels too. Is you can rent a cabin there. They have cabins inside the park, like not cabins, but houses. You can rent a big size house inside the park. You can rent you can rent an RV spot. You can rent a primitive site with some have electricity and some don't, where you can put a tent in and all that. So yeah, um, it's different. To sum it up, I would choose most Six Flags parks over Dollywood, and that's your opinion. The problem is you can't state an opinion if you've never been there. If you haven't been to Dollywood, or you haven't been to Silver Dollar City, or you haven't been to Cedar Point, then you can say you want to go to a Six Flags park any day that you want. That's fine. But unless you've been there and unless you know the experience, you really can't form an educated opinion on what's better and what's not. What Cedar Fair parks have you been to? That's not Dollywood, and that's not SDC. Ah, okay, whatever, whatever. Like I said, opinion. It's fine. I'm not saying the Cedar Fair is superior. I'm not saying that Six Flags is superior. I'm just going off of numbers and what I know, and numbers don't lie. Okay, so Dorney and Kings Island are. So you've never been to Dorney or Kings Island, right? So Dorney is very small. Okay. So Dorney is very small. So if you're going to compare, if you've only been to Dorney Park as a Cedar Fair park, that's a really bad opinion. If you're trying to compare that to Great Adventure, Dorney Park's a small regional park, very small park. Um, I like Dorney just because it's small. They don't have a big draw for me though. There's nothing there that I'm like, oh, I've got to go to Dorney Park. Even with Iron Menace being there brand new, it's still not one of my favorites in the chain. We used to call it Dorky Park when I was growing up because, yeah, but Knoebels is not. You're comparing apples to oranges. Orion's been around since 1900 and something. Right, right. So yeah, nothing that says, "Oh, I heard to go there." Okay, so Dorney has been around for a long time, and like I said, it's a regional park. There's not much else. I mean, Hershey's a drive from there. Great Adventure's a drive from there. But that park really does well with their water park. That Dorney does really well with their water park. That's a big draw for that park. And right, every theme park is different. Every person is different. Everybody has an opinion. So I mean, I state my opinions, and you guys state your opinions. I mean, that's fine. So, who just hopped on? Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm more of a overall, like, you could build 3,000 roller coasters in one park, and if the guest experience isn't up to par, I'm more, and it comes more with age. I think that you want the overall guest experience for what you're spending for your money, and especially like if you're traveling and all that. But yeah, I would consider parks. No one as of right now is turning around and going, Great Adventure to me is a destination park. They're turning around and they're going, Dollywood, Silver Dollar City, Universal, Cedar Point, Magic Mountain. Those are destination parks. Back when you guys had Ka, when Great Adventure had Ka, that was a draw. I mean, we would see people there from all over the world. I mean, we were in the park one time. I ran into a guy from Germany, a guy from Norway, a guy from China, like people from all over the place were in that park because of Ka. And then they tore Ka down. So I guess you just lose that doing that. I don't know. Great Adventure's experience is not that bad. Right. It's not that bad. It's just from my opinion was on last year. Wait a minute. 49 million people went to Six Flags parks and 36 million for Cedar Fair. Okay. Yeah. I go to theme parks to have fun and enjoy myself. Yeah. So you can go to a park and enjoy yourself, but that like I said, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it like I said, like you said before, it's all opinion based, and it's all, what you prefer. Great Adventure to me as of right now is not a destination park. They're trying. I think it's going to be 5 years before that place turns into what it used to be again. But as of right now, I wouldn't consider Great Adventure to be a big destination park. They don't have anything that's a big draw that people are going to look around. If people are coming over from Europe, what park are they going to pick to go to first? Obviously Disney. They're going to look at Universal. They're going to look at the hype behind Cedar Point, and they're going to look at some of the bigger parks in the chain. Yeah, it is a fair comparison. If you know what your draw is and to tear that down, that's kind of your fault. That's the park's fault. They lost that draw. I mean, dude, you can't. There are literally no excuses that you can give me that's going to say why their 50th anniversary why their 50th anniversary celebration at that park was just absolute trash. And you cannot blame it on the merger, and do not blame it on Zimmerman, because that has nothing to do with it. Zimmerman made the choice, not the park. No, the board of directors, Zimmerman single-handedly does not make those decisions. Why does people think it's Zimmerman was sitting in his office and was just like, you know what? Screw Great Adventure, screw King Ka, tear it down. No, It's the board. It's the whole board all the way across that votes to do things like that, especially something that big. Not just one person making a decision. No, Zimmerman did not single-handedly come out in a meeting and be like, tear Ka down. That's not what happened. Still Cedar Fair's board. It's Cedar Fair's board, and there's people on the board. It's the board and the investors and the directors. It's a combination of the both. If the ride is losing you money, if you have a shitload of guest complaints about it, if there's something wrong with the state of New Jersey, it's a whole bunch of things. It's not just someone out of spite saying we're tearing Ka down. That's not true. If Six Flags would have announced at the end of last year, the 2025, they're going to be the last year picking the Ka, they would have made millions this year. Right. So we're having this discussion earlier about what my thoughts are, where that they literally delayed Flash because they knew they were going to tear down Ka and they would have no draw for this year if they would have opened Flash last year. You're right. And you're right. And if they would have said, if I think literally the only reason why they didn't keep it open for one more year was because I don't think they were going to pass inspection with it. I think they weren't going to pass inspection. Cool. Then go to Discovery Kingdom. Like, I don't care. You haven't been to Dollywood and you're forming opinions about a park that you never been to. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, Dollywood is the overall better experience and why they're so highly rated. I mean, hey, you can be a Six Flags fanboy like all you want and try to rip on Cedar Point, try to rip on Cedar Fair or whatever. I see numbers and I see things from a different perspective, maybe than some other people do. But yeah, the numbers don't lie, dude. I mean, you could have more visitors to Great Adventure or to a Six Flags park than Cedar Fair, but you kind of go, all right, well, it's it doesn't matter. That's fine. You're just gonna keep pushing that. You're gonna keep pushing that. Oh well, they got more visitors than this year. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Right. And the whole chain, not just Great. And normally, I would say the reason why Six Flags would have more numbers than the Cedar Fair chains is the location of the Six Flags parks. Um, However, if you look at the money since COVID, Cedar Fair is going up, Six Flags is going down. Those numbers don't lie. I don't care about attendance. Who cares? If the people aren't coming to the park to spend money, the park doesn't do anything. Right. But that's not what you're saying up there. You say I'm not saying the park is better because it has more visitors. What I'm saying is you can have 1 million visitors that don't spend $1 when they come to the park. You can have 500,000 visitors to your park that spend $2 and they make $1 million. You see what I'm saying? Makes sense. It's the people, the location of the park, the draw of the park. If people are willing to spend their money once they get into the park, you can have nice plants, but you don't go to the park for nice plants. No, but it improves the overall quality. Busch Gardens Williamsburg has a huge amount of traffic that go to that park that don't ride rides. That park is absolutely stunningly beautiful. And same with Dollywood, same with Silver Dollar City. If you have the theming, Hershey Park is even a pretty park. It's pretty. It's well taken care of. If you don't take care of the park, then the overall guest experience. Build me a $35 million roller coaster And people will go to the park and they'll go, oh, how great the roller coaster is. But then what do they say after that? Waited 3 hours in line for food. There was trash everywhere. Rude staff. Blah, 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 blah. Right. If someone wants to go to a nice park, they would not go to a theme park. They would go to a national park. Okay. Cool. Yeah. But we go to theme parks, don't we? We don't go to we you go to a national park, there's no ride there. So once again, you're comparing apples to oranges again. The more Six Flags parks, populated areas. Right, right. I mean, you got to look at where, like where the Six Flags parks are located. Like Six Flags America, for example, is located like literally right across the street from DC. No people go there, right? So, well, they do, but not. They don't spend money. Once again, that's a park where people were going to the park and not spending money. They had no money to spend. They buy the season pass. They go there all day. Yeah. But St. Louis, major population area. Atlanta, major population area. Magic Mountain, huge area. I mean, you look at like Kings Dominion, middle of nowhere, right? I mean, but there's people around it. They got to get to it. Yeah. Busch Gardens has St. Louis is not that big. St. Louis is big. St. Louis, I've been to that park. That's pretty much in the middle of nowhere, but it's built on an old World's Fair site. So a lot of the Six Flags bar. Katy is in a better spot than Cedar Point. Oh yeah, absolutely. But you got competition an hour away that dominates them in pretty much every single way, shape, and form you possibly can. St. Louis, what? The city doesn't have 300,000 people in it? Well, that's because their population's down because it's not that great of a place to live. So, hi, Gagey. Finally hopped on here after I've been on for 2 hours. What's with this sad face and donkey? So, yeah, I mean, but like a lot of the conversation we're having here is like, we're seeing like the opinion thing. And now I've got another great adventure like defender in here. Midwest is not great. It's a moan and a bill. Oh, gotcha. And a bull. Gotcha. So yeah, I'm just hoping, like, getting back to like where I originally started the conversation, where I'm hoping that America, like with the closure of America, that they take that money. I would like to see that money from that park being sold off and send it right to Great Adventure, because Great Adventure does deserve to have a bigger, better park, and deserves to be one of the top chains. I think what they should do is they should have California as a big park, Cedar Point as a big, so Magic Mountain is a big park, Cedar Point as a big park, and Great Adventure. So you have across the United States, you have one in each region, and then the South you do Carowinds. So then you've got West, Midwest, Northeast, and the South. Works perfectly well. That works perfectly fine for me. Do pointy curled shoes scary? Yeah, they do. Yeah, do you have a pair? But anyway, I want to talk about Top Thrill 2 for a minute. And then like the kind of talk about that. I have been to experience based parks. What are experience based? Oh, like the overall experience, right? But like I said, you were saying that you'd rather go somewhere else other than Dollywood when you've never been to Dollywood. So like forming an opinion up is fine, but like I said, Dollywood's just the overall experience. So yeah. Gage, did you check out did you look at my Skyrush video? Have any of you guys seen my Skyrush video yet? Because it's up. It's pretty cool. I just want to know what you guys think of the concept, and if I should do that more, if I should kind of turn my directions another way or whatever. I don't know what I want to do with that. So, I don't know if I've ever introduced you guys to my my two bears. Hold on. So, this one's Millie Bear, and he's got a beautiful necklace on. But this is Millie Bear, and he goes pretty much everywhere with me. And then now I have Thrilly Bear too, and so I have Millie and Thrilly, and I've got to get a Steel Vengeance one, but that is Thrilly Bear, and yes, he does have a Top Field 2 helmet on that fits. But yeah, that's Thrilly Bear. He's pretty cool. Yeah. So what is BT Parks? I was thinking 80% of people who have visited any of the top 3 Cedar Fair parks and 3 of the top 6 Flags Parks, they would choose to visit the Cedar Fair park. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. If you went to Cedar Point, Kings Island, and I'm trying to think of one other big another big Cedar Fair park that those are ones I can think of right at the top of my head. Yeah, and then he went to like Great Adventure, Darien Lake, or Six Flags America. I mean, you obviously can see kind of what the better quality of the parks is. And like I said before, Cedar Fair, Cedar Fair has never filed for bankruptcy. That's a big thing. And like to me, I'm going, well, why can't you see that? Like you guys don't see that. So I've been on Orion. Orion's great. A very unpopular opinion. I like Orion better than I like Fury. Very unpopular opinion. CP is the only park that stands up to the Six Flags top 3. You're kidding me. So, Gage, you want to say something about Kings Island here? Because, yeah, KI might be the most overrated park ever. Have you been to Kings Island? Kings Island's carried by their B&Ms. Okay. Yeah. You could say Hershey's carried by their B&Ms. Busch Gardens is carried by their B. Well, wait a minute. Busch Gardens has more. Has the whole park is pretty much B&M. Like really? Like who cares? KI is my favorite park. The bet right. So, would you rather spend your money? I'm going to say this because I might not get the answer I'm expecting. Is Kings Island a better park than Great Adventure? And you live near Great Adventure, and that's your favorite park. But is the Kings Island experience better than a Great Adventure experience? That's like saying if you have not been to Six Flags America, you can't say it's bad, which right. Well, right. This is the whole thing with America I put out there. I put out there with America, I said, look, if you're so mad at Six Flags for shutting down America, then go. Like, where were you instead of saying, oh, well, I heard that park's trash? Go. That park is not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. Canada's Wonderland is great, and it's going to be incredible once Alpenfury is gone. Right. So, yeah. I mean, and that's literally that park is the only park for hundreds of miles, and I think maybe one of the only big parks in Canada. I mean, La Ronde is there, but that's a shithole in Montreal. Like, but yeah, yeah, I could see Six Flags dumping La Ronde. I could see that coming up. Great Adventure should be the best, but sadly, it's not right now. Right, and it hasn't been for the last 5 years. Probably longer than that. Great Adventure is a great park. It's just been kind of dumped on. KI is so much better. Go to the fall. Oh, night rides at Kings Island are unparalleled, man. To be at Holiday World in Indiana, if you can go for Hollywood Nights. I mean, the night rides on those wooden coasters is amazing. I use Six Flags America as an analogy. I never said I was upset about it. I didn't say you were upset about it. I'm just saying that people were bashing on it that it had never gone. That's yeah. And then the people that were so upset that it was closing, they're the ones that are like, screw Six Flags. They're closing. Dude, did you ever go? No. I mean, park would make money if people went, right? So word of mouth is a huge thing in theme parks too. Does it end again by the logic how you can say LaRon is bad if you've never been there? Um, you're right. I just like I said, I look at numbers and yeah, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have an opinion on LaRon. But from friends that like, yeah, you're right. You're good. Good choice. I made that mistake and I shouldn't have said it. So many people say. Roar over Mystic Timbers. Yeah, no. Yeah, there's your unpopular opinion. I think Orion's better than Fury, and you think Roar is better than Mystic Timbers. So yeah, that like another very unpopular opinion. But it's funny that people I run into, and I'm like, man, I really don't get the hype behind uh Nitro over Toro. No, Toro's my number 2 in that park. Or Toro's my number 1 in the park. Toro's my number 1. Nitro's my number 2. But yeah, Toro's just out of control, man. That's what makes that so good. But I've ridden the Voyage of the Holiday World, and that's pretty superior. So, oh, dude, yeah, Nitro's night rides sick, but Beast is on a whole nother level. Like Nitro's night rides are epic, but Beast is just layout for both are great. Yeah, Toro layout's great. And then here comes along Hershey, who builds Candemonium, which is like taking Nitro and cutting it in half. Great chat. I got to get back to work. Lunch break is over. Hope to see you in the park soon. Yeah, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night at work. Been 3 years since I got 2 Nitro front row rides in the fog. Yeah, you should try riding Top Thrill 2 in the fog. That was pretty life changing there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that I've got you guys all commenting and everything else. It's kind of why I like getting on these live streams. It took I like to have 200 or 300 people in here, but yeah, I'll get there eventually. So so fun part. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Like I keep checking my email because I want to see if Busch Gardens ever got back to me because I'm pretty sure. So Gage, I'm still on this debate on Top Thrill 2 or Vengeance. I Top Thrill 2 I like for the speed. Vengeance I like for the overall ride. So it's one of those things where I'm like, all right, my number 1 is still Vengeance. Top Thrill is really close to being first. So it's just Vengeance is just the overall ride. The length of it, the airtime on it, the amount of time that you're on the ride. Where Top Thrill 2, I love the speed of it. Like there's 2 epic moments on Top Thrill and about 30. There's more than 10 sections of Steve that are mind blowing. I mean, Top Thrill going backwards up the spike and watching the world disappear underneath you is epic. And then the airtime going over that top hat and not coming, your butt not touching the seat until you hit the bottom. But Vengeance is like airtime pop, airtime pop, airtime pop, floater, ejector, lateral. I mean, it's just everything kind of. My biggest bucket list is RMC at this point is definitely Zadra. Mine right now is Airy. Because it's close and it's easy to get. It's drivable. Yeah. I can't wait to ride New Texas Shine. Yeah, That I think that's going to be great too. I still think, overall opinion of the RMCs is that Steel Vengeance and Quasi are the kickers, are the big boys. So I watched some of the POV from Zadra. The one I would love to see a park here in the United States get something like Voltron. Uh, I I watched the videos from that and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's freaking amazing. Like the way that the theming is, the way that the ride, and it's a long ride. It's like I think it's like a 2.5 minute long ride, like cycle. But then I don't want to see them get something like Hyperion, which they can't even get it to work. But yeah, it's just nuts. Sorry, I'm reading my someone just texted me, so uh anyway. Um so to anybody that I always ask this question all the time, like, um, does anybody have any questions for me? Like, I mean, Cedar Point questions, like when I used to work there, things that we used to do, stuff like that, or anything about my pictures or my videos, or any comments on like what I post and stuff like that. I mean, I'd like to see like your guys' opinion on like what you'd like to see me do as far as content, because I'm always kind of trying new things to see if they work. And you know, like do you like see me edit more pictures or like have more pictures put up, or do you like my videos? Do you like, what kind of things do you look for like on my channel? Because I'm really trying to get it to where um I can do what I do full time, uh and be more reliable on like my theme park stuff than anything else. So instead of having to go out and bust my ass cleaning cars and DJing every weekend and all that. So Raka and Toro poster. That's all. I love it. My uh can you can you send me pictures of those? Like I want to see them like hanging in like what size did you get them? Okay, so do you like more like you like more like people talking about the rides, or like more like just giving facts about the rides, like talking like their opinion, or like how like I just did the Sky Rush video where I'm putting like stats at the end or something like that. So I appreciate that. I gotta start buckling down and doing more pictures. I have I wish that Top Thrill would have given me better shots, but the weather was so bad when we were up there. I need to go back. Like I literally am like sitting here like scratching my head on when I can get back up there, because I need a day. I have not done a park this year yet where um the weather's been good. Hershey's opening day was overcast and cloudy. Great Adventures was overcast and cloudy. Um, Knoebels was raining. Cedar Point was definitely raining, except for one day. But I haven't had a blue sky day, and it's really hard to get my Oh, that's super cool. So yeah, he just sent me like the my picture hanging on his wall. That's super cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Um, But yeah, Busch Gardens, I'm definitely looking at, doing some more on rides. And I'll get even if I don't get to ride it, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have Big Bad Wolf testing in that section open, so I can get back there and at least see it. Um yeah, so yeah, the fog pictures and the videos really did work out for like having video content, but like I wanted to get really good pictures of like that, the thing with the full color on it coming down the spike. I mean, the trains are absolutely gorgeous, especially that blue one. So it'd be kind of interesting to see like, um, how they would have turned out. I would have liked to have had like a picture like that one for for um for Top Thrill too. I mean, I do like the edit that I did come up with, but it's still really hard to see the train and the people on the train and the reactions and stuff like that, which is basically what like I kind of like my focal point on how I do the coasters. So um yeah. But yeah, I appreciate that you got the poster like that. I can actually print them, Joey, if you want. I can make you a really big one of that. I think they're I can bring it to you next time I come up there if you want. It would be okay, you just send Joey a picture of like how big your picture is from your 50th and your 100th ride. I think they're like $28 to print them, something like that. But yeah, I would if you want one of them, I can print that out real big and bring it to you. So, Seb, it must be nice to have off from work tonight, huh? What did it say? I borrow it? Oh, yeah. I'll make you a big one, dude. No problem. I have that one. I haven't printed. I've only printed Gage's up. Gage has got the big Phoenix one and the one from Sleepy Time Coaster. So I'm really looking forward to I'm really looking forward to seeing what your reaction is on that if you can stay awake during the whole ride because I don't think you will be able to. uh so Falcon's flight is testing. I mean, cool, but like, do I really care? I mean, bring on the Falcons flight POV. Yeah, number one, it's built in a country where I'll probably never ever get a chance to visit. So, and then on top of that, it's an Intamin, which I love Intamin, but they are extremely unreliable. And now you're testing more like new record breakers and prototypes and stuff. I'm kind of like, uh, how much downtime is that going to have? Because honestly, we'll probably hear maybe have to be rich to enter Saudi. No, you don't have to be rich to enter Saudi Arabia. Do you really want to go to Saudi Arabia? Number one, you're looking at like a 20-hour plus flight. That's probably going to cost you, between $2,000 and $5,000 to get there. Uh, they're they're extremely set in their ways. It's just I don't know, man. Good for them that they're going to set a record again, but most people in the United States that are coaster enthusiasts are really not going to care too much, other than us going, well, why can't we build that here? That's pretty much what it's going to come to, and a lot of people aren't going to get out there. I think maybe maybe three at best channels I can think of that'll make that trip over there to do that. And that's going to be their opinion, and their opinion is going to come up like the first maybe month that that ride's open, and then we will hear nothing else about it. You don't see people on, talking about a lot of the parks over in Europe and stuff too. I'm not going, but maybe we'll get an extra coaster someday too if it works. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the United States finally buckle down and build um a strata coaster that's not a launch, or push the 500-foot boundary. um I think if any park is going to do it, it would probably be a Cedar Point or Magic Mountain type of a deal. I don't think they can. I don't know if they get 500-foot approval um, at Great Adventure. Obviously, they got the 420-foot approval, but they do have a lot of low flying airplanes that go through there. So build more mock ride models. Yeah, like mock and the new Vacomas. I mean, the Siren's Curse looks amazing. I hope it runs as good as it looks. I mean, we were there and I'm looking at the track and I'm going, man, that thing is gonna whip you around. Like, yeah, I mean, the new Vacomas and all that. So um yeah, I'd be interested to see like You know, I mean, why did they only build one Copperhead Strike? Why does Carowinds have the only one of that? Why do they only build one Maverick? Um, Maverick is absolutely one of my favorite rides at Cedar Point, and I'm just really surprised that they haven't they didn't build more of those like across the chain. I would have loved it instead of Raptera. I would have loved to have seen like a Maverick, not necessarily a clone, but a Maverick type ride go into King's Dominion instead of Raptera. Huge fan of Vekoma already after riding Flash. Uh, so yeah, I think Vekoma is going to have a resurgence. You just got to remember that Vekoma built trash rides for years and years and years and years and years, and now they're getting more of that Disney money. So now they're spending money on their technology and their track design and their stuff like that. I mean, Vekoma still is rip off Arrow. No matter how way you shake it and how long ago that happened, they literally ripped off. You know, they ripped off Arrow. They did. That plain as a nose on my face right there. But I think that they'll have more. I think Vekoma, if Flash works out really well, I could see some of the Six Flags parks that have boomerangs everywhere, replacing those old aging, boomerangs that they all call boomerang. I could see them replacing them with a newer Vekoma, Super Boomerang or something Vekoma like that has that launch. Yeah, and I wouldn't say they're revolutionizing the industry. I think they're making people pay attention to them more than they were. Vekoma's always been kind of crapped on just because of some of the ride models they made and the roughness and the lackadaisical. Is that the word I'm looking for? Like just what they built. I mean, they built it. SLCs, clunk, 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 and across the board, there's only one good SLC, and that's at Maurice Pier with the Nor'easter, and that's because they went back years later and retracked the whole thing, put new trains on it, did all that, and then all the other parks that had those SLCs, they didn't really do anything with them. I mean, America put new trains on it and then slapped a coat of paint on it, and they forgot the one biggest element to not make it rattly, and that's to retrack it. They didn't retrack it. So I'm like, what the really? You spent all that money? But I think almost all of America's rides are gonna just get destroyed. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about it. So Gage and Steph, are you still in here? All right, Loopy, I see you're back. What's your questions? When are you going to KI? I think we're gonna try to go in. So depending on what day of the week you go, that park it gets pretty busy. I would always suggest going any theme park Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday in the summer. Avoid Saturdays. Saturdays are going to be crazy busy. Okay, yeah. If you're going on a weekday, if you're looking for a place to stay, there's a Comfort Inn across. You can set if you send me your information like on here, my Instagram or whatever, send me a message. I can give you where we stay. It's not the prettiest hotel, but it's right across the street. I believe it's a Comfort Inn. It's right across the street. It's literally like a 2 to 5 minute ride to the park gates from there. If you're looking for a place to stay, get in the park early is the easiest thing I would say. And then if you're going one day, I would probably, I don't know. I would probably rush Orion in the morning. But the thing with Orion is they usually have 2 or 3 trains on, so the capacity is really good. I'm going on a road trip and we will stop on the way. Okay. I would hit I would try to hit Orion in the morning, probably Beast as early as you can. Beast gets a pretty long line, pretty much the whole day. Um, but Orion, the capacity is really good, so they turn out a lot of trains. Banshee can get a pretty good weight on it. Um, that line moves pretty quick too because of the capacity on that as well. But definitely, if you're there, definitely get in line as late as you can to ride Beast. Say the park closes at 10. Try to get in the ride time like 9:45. They do shut the line down. I believe it's at when we were there, they closed it at like 9 o'clock and didn't reopen it until like 9:30 because of and they stopped the ride running because of the drones take off like right in front of it. And then after the drone show, they have to go and do a track walk because the fireworks are lit off from there too and make sure that there's nothing on the tracks and stuff like that. So, they reopen the ride, and then if you're as long as you're in line, you get the ride. But night ride, a definite night ride on that, for sure. You can't go to Kings Island and not get a Beast night ride. That's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much a go-to. But Orion, Banshee, Beast, um, Diamondback is excellent. Diamondback is just a tad underneath of the ratings for me. The Nitro. Um, Diamondback definitely has a rattle. That's got to be an M rattle. But the airtime and the finale on that are really really good. So yeah, definitely that. Yeah, Nitro seems to be very underrated. I think Nitro is rated right where it needs to be. I never really hear anybody ever talk bad about Nitro. Um, I'll talk bad about Candemonium because it's too short and uh has too many breaks. But Nitro, yeah, Nitro is freaking phenomenal. Nitro is actually my favorite hyper. Um, Out of all the hypers I've been on. My favorite Giga will always be 305. Um, just because the sheer speed and the intensity on that. I'm kind of disappointed it's still not open, but um, the front row, I'm laughing at the finale so much. Oh, like on Nitro's front row? I like Nitro's back row for the finale. So I like the huge floater air. The floater air time is great on that. So yeah, I like the back row on Nitro's back row is my favorite. Front row is great. Um, but yeah, back row for sure on Nitro. Back row on the far side when you load it on the right side. That's my favorite seat. Probably close to 200. What, 200 rides on it? On Nitro? That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't even know how many times I've been on that. That we last I think it was like not last year, but the year before we marathon that thing at the end of the night, and it was like 10 rides in a row, which was awesome at night. Cold. Only 20 Toro rides. I've been on Toro quite a bit too. I've been riding Toro since it opened. So um yeah. So did any of you guys check out have any of you guys been watching my like long form videos on YouTube? Like have you guys looked at any of them? Like I have the Steel Vengeance one or the Top Thrill one up now. I have a Sky Rush one. I have like my top 5 coasters at Hershey up now. I had quite a bit. So I like to see like what your opinions on my videos are. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Especially if you're watching. Like I said, I'm trying to build that following up. So I think I really should do more videos like what Coaster Studios does and Collywood does, like more of me like talking about the rides and stuff like that, like while I'm in the park. But it's just like when I go to the park, I want to have fun. I just don't want to be on my camera the whole time. Like, does that make sense? Like, especially if I go with my group of people I go with or like whatever. I don't want to hold them up and be like, oh, here's my camera and I gotta film like blah 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 blah. Like, yeah. Which one? My favorite short you have made was the lean back one. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. So on my TikTok video with that Superman, that's the Batwing video, right? That Batwing video on my TikTok has like 906,000 views on it. I'm like, it was like the stupidest video ever. But my shorts, like any of my videos, I don't know if you guys realize, but like pay attention to the music I use, because like a lot of my influencers for my videos and stuff are coming from um a lot of that's coming from my overall like DJ, like my DJ experience, like using the right music to the right video. Um yeah, so thrilled. Did Joey, have you watched my the Sky Rush video I did? So what I did was I used the POV from Hershey Park, and then I filmed a shot using the Osmo where I have the train coming off the lift hill, and I literally track it the entire ride. So what I did was I used half the screen for the Hershey Park POV and then half of the screen for the off ride, and it literally matches up perfectly. And yeah, it's pretty freaking sick, man. Like I watch that and I'm like, I like doing that. So, but yeah, like my music, like the music choices I pick in the songs always have something to do with um either the ride or like something that's going on, like the lean back video. I have one that's like a bottoms up video from like Superman at Great Adventure, where like when the seats retract back, it does bottoms up. Like it's just like knowing your music and kind of like what to put in the video is like that's always like a big thing to me. So yeah. Well, I've been on for 2.5 hours now, so I'm gonna figure out where the hell I put my soda. What's really funny is I was gonna do a TikTok live tonight, and then I realized, I haven't done a YouTube live in a while, so like I'll hop on here and like see who gets on and like see who stays on and see who chats with me and whatever else. So, um, Joey, what do you think of the Sky Rush video? See, I'd rather get on here than sit here and I had Call of Duty planned for the night, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just get online. Good to remember how it was. My number one coaster running. Yeah, Sky Rush has always been really good. I don't really know if I like prefer the new seats over the old seats. Like the old seats could be painful, but you got a lot more like forces, like the ejector and like the your body rolling out and stuff like that. And then like the new seats, like just seem to kind of ruin the laterals. Um, is a lot more. Yeah, I don't think they were really that bad. I find Jersey Devils restraints to be a lot more painful than than Sky Rush was, and no one ever really talks about that. My legs literally kill me getting off a Jersey Devil every time. Next stream, let me know what to expect from Hershey. Oh, you haven't been to Hershey Park yet? Oh yeah. So the drop on Sky Rush, it's got like that double pop of airtime, which is I don't think any other coaster does that I've ever been on. Like you get ejected out and then you go down and you get ejected out again. So I have it. It was in 2014. You didn't ride anything. Why didn't you ride anything? Yeah, it was 10 years ago. So you're probably what, what, like nine, if that, eight. Didn't ride Looper? What the hell? Loopy Loop Adventures, and he hasn't been on Super Duper Looper. Okay. Something like that. Yeah, exactly. Hey, when you go to Hershey, let me know when you're going to go. I have season passes for there, and I love taking new people there. I also have a accessibility pass because of my knees that I can use for 4 people. So if you go the same day I go, we can hang out, and you don't have to wait in line. You can wait in line with me, and usually not a line, which is awesome. So yeah, that my my military career has damaged my, well, I shouldn't say damaged, I should say ruined, pretty much ruined my knees. I can still get around okay. I just think when I get older, it's going to be worse. And from what everybody's telling me, the doctors and stuff like that, the more time I spend standing up, um, the worse it's going to be when I get older. I mean, I'm already almost 50, so um, we should usher me to Great Adventure. Yeah, like I'll be coming up to Great Adventure again soon. Of course, my coaster buddies live, 20, like not even 40 minutes from that place. So it's like it's really hard for me to be like, hey, I'm not going to come up this weekend because I know that they live so close to there. But like, I also want to do, make sure I'm getting to other parks that I pay for, number one, but I'm also getting content other than, Hershey Park Great Adventure. I mean, that's pretty much, I think last year I did 10 parks. So like, yeah, that's what I want to kind of be at like this year. The people who I am no longer friends with kept following you around. So that guy was not me. One of the people who I am no longer friends with. Who 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 was following me around? I mean, I know who was kind of with us for the day, but I don't know the tall dude. I don't remember who the tall dude was. I don't know. I mean, I know it was there. It was around Skull Mountain. Who rode Skull Mountain with us? Oh my god, I'm trying to remember back to opening day now. Like I'm trying to remember who we were with. Like who was all like hanging around with us. There's a lot of people. The guy in the Eddie Bauer shirt. I'd have to go back and look at my pictures and find out. Not ringing any bells to me at all. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Steph. I didn't even realize you were still here. who was who was with us that was tall? I can't even think of like not a clue. I mean, it was Joey was there, Bacon Chris, me, girls, Charlie, right? No, Charlie didn't go on opening day. Bacon Chris's videos are literally like the funniest crap I've ever seen in my life. And the newest one, yo. uh I don't know who you're talking about, Loopy, that was with us that was tall and was around Skull Mountain. The guy with colorful hair. Who was with us with the colorful hair? I don't know. I was not there because my group split. Hmm. I mean, that Steph that was with me all day, and yeah, we can't figure out who it is. Was it someone that was like around us all day, or was it just someone that was like kind of tagging along? He shared my locker. Who shared your locker? I was riding Wonder Woman and he was following you around, just tagging for a bit. I don't know who that would be. I mean, Griffin, Gage, Bacon Chris, Joey, me, Steph. He was part of my crew. Oh. Um Loopy, send me a message on my Instagram so I know who you're talking about. like I'm completely lost right now. Oh, okay. If it was the guy with the colorful hair, he was only around for like he didn't hang around with us very long that I remember. Like I can't remember like oh, and it's not that guy. Who the is it? I know you can't send me a private message. I don't know how you would send me a message. It's bugging me now. It makes me want to go walk through a park with a sausage. That's what it makes me want to do. I will do it tomorrow. Okay, cool. Do you follow me on my Insta? Or that's like where pretty much like all my photographs go is my Insta. I mean, YouTube's like shorts and videos and all that crap. Other guy that runs my channel does. I don't have Insta yet. Okay. Steph, should I show the picture? I mean, they'll get a kick out of it. Where did I put that picture at? Hold on. Where's that picture? Yeah, I can show that. I don't think that'll get like PG rated, really. That's literally one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my life. Corn. God damn. I literally stopped laughing at that like 10 o'clock last night, and like now I just started laughing at it again. So uh yeah, so yeah, that if you haven't watched that video yet, like I highly recommend watching that video. And then when I see him in the park next time, I'm gonna be like, yo, dude, like you can't film video content like that. Like I'm really surprised that YouTube didn't pick up on that and shut that whole thing down. Like, yo, you cannot film a sausage in your hand while you're walking with it with the camera down, shooting down. Next time we meet a great adventure, you should ride something with our crew. Yeah, I mean, I'm always with kind of my group when I go. So like, I mean, if you guys want to meet up or something, that's awesome. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna ride Nitro, but we're on the train after you. Oh, you should have just told us to wait up. I mean, that's fine, dude. I'm always down to hang out with people, man. I mean, Great Adventures where I met my two greatest coaster buddies ever. They know who they are. And like, you know, Great Adventure like kind of holds a special place for that right there. So, I mean, I wouldn't go on half of my trips if they weren't with me. So, yeah. I don't know when the next. I might try to plan like to come up. Um, I might go up the Great Adventure not this weekend. Next weekend, I might be going back to Bush again. I might do Bush 2 weekends in a row, and then I think maybe after that, and then Steph and I got to start planning out the Gage birthday trip because that's going to be that's gonna require some time and some money and some effort and some energy. So uh, only only 3 people know where we're going. So, and I'm not planning on telling anyone else where we're going, but it should be an epic trip, and it might get me to my 300th credit. It might, depending on where we go. So we've got Steph. How many parks do we pick? 3, 4? The 4? I think it's 4, right? I can't remember. I know there's at least if we do a certain way, I'll hit at least like 6 more credits or something like that. Oh. 2 weeks in the summer. Yeah, so 2 weeks. Big Bad Wolf opens to the general public at Busch Gardens on not this weekend, but next weekend. So if I don't keep yeah, that's what I figured. And like the trip's gonna be like a week. So I think it was Steph, I'm gonna text you real quick to make sure I'm right. I think it was I'm just gonna type these to you real quick. See if I'm right. I think there's more. I think there's more added to that. So, yeah. Keep forgetting what we said, but yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's going to start as far south as we can go and then come back up. So, I think, uh, yeah, I know where we're going to start the trip at. So, yeah. Okay. You can write on there if I'm right or not. I don't know if I am or not yet. But I need to get off here. I've been on here for like 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's a long time for a live stream. But it's really cool that I'm using my Osmo so like I can move my camera around and stuff. If you guys haven't seen my pictures and stuff on my wall, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah. And I can see me on my own computer screen. Isn't that cool? There I am. Hi. Uh yeah, I figured that was right. And then start at the last one. Start the last one that I wrote. So yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna hop off here. I've been on for a long time. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I miss you even more. uh, give me more time. Yeah. So the North trip, that's got to be like a Sunday month, like leave Saturday night or yeah, leave on a Saturday night and then do like New England, and then go up to Connecticut and do like that way around, like Six Flags New England, um, Boulder Dash. What is that? Lake Compounds, and then there's another one over there too. I want to go to, and then maybe hit Coney Island. I maybe do like 4. I don't think we had to be at Coney Island all day. I don't think we had to be at Lake Compounds all day either. I think both of those can be like a half day thing, unless we're really having a good time. And we're like, oh, we're gonna stay. You know how we are. But yeah, we definitely got to do Cedar Point and Kings Island. Like I want to get back to Cedar Point bad. So, and no, I don't want to go to Keensburg or Clementon or Beach Bend or whatever other ones that deserve to be in a trash pile. uh yeah, your daughter's infatuation with shitty amusement parks like just blows my mind, considering that we have passport passes to every single one of the Six Flags parks, access to Cedar Point, access to Busch Gardens. Like, what the hell? You know you want to come back and see me. You know it. You know it. You know it. Uh no, I get it, dude. Like it's like the theme park life is it's a lifestyle, man. I mean that's pretty much, I the winter time I'm just absolutely miserable because you can't get out and ride anything. I mean, unless I go to Florida or I go to California, it's like is there like special priority that you like? Look, now you can see me. I'll take my helmet off. Okay, so there's Thrilly Bear without his helmet on, by the way. Yeah, like these are my Interman brothers, right? Steph, he needs a necklace, like pretty bad. It beats knitting or stamp collecting. Oh yeah, dude, my bears are the best, and I might have just ordered the cactus from Steel Vengeance because I need one for that. I want to get one. I want to get one for every ride there, but they don't like they only have like the Maverick one is a horse. Like I really don't want a horse. Like I'm not a that's kind of weird. I like my bears. I just need yeah. What do you want? How'd you like I lost 2 subs. How'd you how'd you lose 2 subs? They're like, we don't like you anymore. We don't like your content anymore. I see that all the time, especially on Instagram. Like I'll make like 1,000 new followers and then like 25 of them will just vanish. Um, Steph, what are you on? As you said, I'm on it. Oh, I'll get him a necklace. Got it. But he can't have the bear one because he hasn't had like his Busch Gardens experiences yet. I mean, there's a reason why he wears this. So yeah, he's got a very special necklace. So, but he's kind of the bad boy. I don't know what you're talking about. Um, yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got the helmet. Like I don't know if you guys saw that, but like the Top Thrill helmet that they sell, like this is separate in the park, and they've got like in its own display case and stuff. And then like it literally fits on the bear's head, like literally perfectly. So like you just like literally just like stuff his head in here, and it like he fits in here perfectly, like so he can have the Top Thrill. And like the park didn't even know this. Like we showed it to them and they're like, "What?" Like I was like, "Yeah, dude, like it he fits in there perfectly. He's too cute in there, man." So, also when we were arguing that S65, I wasn't trying to be mean. No, your opinion's perfectly fine. Like, yeah, opinion. I mean, that's fine. That's. I mean, I will argue till the cows come home that Great Adventure is not that great of a park and it needs help. And like I know a lot of people there that think that place is great, and you know they could. I mean, there's a YouTuber I know really well that I would almost consider a friend that just all he does is talk about the great things, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, you're kind of forgetting some things here, buddy. So, but yeah, everybody has opinions. I mean, um, I'm not like my opinions about certain parks. I mean, I'm not I am never go as much as when I worked at Universal and SeaWorld, as much as like I love Disney and the experience there when I lived there, I don't think I would ever spend another dime to go to one of their parks. And I love Star Wars and I love like the whole Disney experience is just amazing. I just don't see spending my money in that park anymore. Like I just to me it's like I don't know, it's just too expensive. When are you going to Great Adventure? Because me and my crew are going on some rides with you. Um, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. It all depends on the what's going on at Williamsburg, and then I've got to start looking at um possibly getting back up to Cedar Point if I get invited to media day and commercial shoot for Siren's Curse because that will definitely overtake everything as soon as I find out when that's going to be. So Memorial Weekend is going to be a zoo. So just like this weekend with the water park opening, it's going to be. You're going to go on Sunday and not go to Busch Gardens with me. Oh no. even though I really wanted to make Charlie's 50th Toro, I'm like, I've been to Great Adventure 3 times this year already. I'm like, we need to go somewhere else. And he's never been on any of the rides at King's Dominion besides one. I'm like, yo, that's 10 credits right there. If you don't like, he's gonna go from 49 to 59 in one day. Hey, just a couple hours. It doesn't need to be Toro Twisted Timbers is just as good for a 50th credit. I mean, Gage's 50th credit was Phoenix, and then her 100th she doesn't even remember. So does it really? I mean, does it really matter? I can't remember for the life of me what my 50th coaster was. I don't remember what my 50th was. I don't remember what my 100th was. I don't remember what my 200th was. I remember what my 250th one was. But that's my closest one. So it doesn't matter if it was Project 305, Intimidator 305, or Rep or Pantherion. It's still always going to be 305. So doesn't matter what you call it. If you're an OG like me and you wrote it when it was, yeah, 305 was 100, yeah, and you don't remember it. I just remember going up the lift hill. That's about it. Yeah, I'm not going to call it I-305. I'm just going to call it 305. So it lost the Intimidator name and the way that Teresa Earnhardt is. I can't say Intimidator anymore. So, I mean, technically, Intimidator is the one in Carowinds, Thunder Striker, whatever the hell they renamed that piece of shit. That ride was great as Intimidator because it was Intimidator because that ride literally trims like every time it gets up to speed, it just crashes out. So, Steph, I will probably talk to you tomorrow. I'm gonna hop off here too. I'm like 4 minutes short of 3 hours of being on live. So, my longest live stream yet. So I'm glad you guys came on and hung out. Joey, it's good to see you and talk to you. See your opinions. Loopy, same. Um, I appreciate you guys getting on here chatting and everything else. It's kind of what I'm probably going to try to start doing every Tuesday. It's either going to be on YouTube or it's going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on one of them. So yeah, if you're not following me, like as far as Instagram, TikTok, and here, make sure you follow me. Obviously, you're following me if you're on the live. I get it. Um, but yeah, like I appreciate you guys coming on and listening to me rant and rave and everything else. So yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. And like I said, thanks for joining. And yeah, I will see you guys soon and have a great night and keep on riding.